Our kickoff keynote speaker is a visionary. He's a thought leader in the technology industry. In 1982, he recognized that microcomputers would transform businesses. He lit a torch and launched ConnectWise. Today, ConnectWise solutions are used by 6,500 technology service companies and more than 100,000 users worldwide. He's an Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year award winner. Please welcome the CEO of ConnectWise, Arnie Bellini.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Connect everything. Connect everything is the theme of this year's ITNation. First ever ITNation Connect. And the reason that that's the theme is because that is what technology will do. Eventually, it will connect everything. Think about, in your lifetime, how much technology has changed your world, the way that you live, the way that you think, the way that you learn, the way you succeed. Technology is connecting everything. And so we are very excited to do a couple things to provide connection. One, we invited everyone to this conference. So from now on, ITNation Connect is a conference where everyone is welcome. And that includes our competitors, which we refer to as co-opetition. We want this to be an event where everyone comes together because it's really about serving you. It's really about focusing on you. It's really about how we can connect all of our solutions together to serve you better. And so it's about connecting to knowledge. It's about connecting to people. It's about connecting to success. It's about connecting absolutely everything. So, what is ITNation? ITNation is a community. It's a community where we share, connect, learn, grow, and succeed together. And if you've noticed, we have a whole lot of symbolism here around torches. What's with the torch? Okay? The symbol of the torch is to light the way. That's wisdom. That's for us to pass the torch to you. And what we're actually doing is we are actually turning this event over to you. In fact, we're turning all of our events over to you. ITNation last year, which you know as ITNation, is now ITNation Connect. We're taking all of our events, all of our community events, and we're changing them. Connect is going to be a focus on business, as you know. It's a focus on getting a game plan together in your business, learning deeply about your business. It's not about products, okay? Now, we got plenty of products for you to take a look at and solutions over there in the Solutions Pavilion, but this is about business. This is about understanding what drives our businesses, what's going to make us successful. This is a time for you to get away from your offices, okay? Clear your heads, hopefully not take too many phone calls, and focus deeply on learning what you need to be successful in this business, learning what you need to do to connect even better, okay, to technology, and connect better to your success. And there are so many partners here that are just eager to share everything that they know to help you do that. That's what this event is about. Automation Nation is now known as ITNation Explore. And that's where we will dive deeply into products. So it's where we're going to have hackathons, we're going to have deep product knowledge, we're going to have an entire set of breakout sessions, 100% dedicated to helping you get educated about products, solutions, and the use of that. So it's more geared for service engineers, technicians, that level of people in your company. And then, of course, the ConnectWise user groups. We have 13 user groups that run around the globe 3 times a year. And that's now known as ConnectWise or ITNation Share. And so that's where we get regional people together and share. You know, what we're finding is that technology is connecting everything, but technology is so advancing so fast that specialization is starting to happen, much more so. The generalist, the days of the generalist are, I don't want to say they're dead, but I'm going to say all of us are going to find a need to specialize and to differentiate ourselves in some ways. We're going to talk about some ways to do that. ITNation Share is a great opportunity to get together with people in your local area, learn who they are. Maybe you find someone who can do maybe cybersecurity, maybe you're not doing that, or maybe websites, maybe you don't do that, right? And you can partner with these people. And I've been amazed to see what's happened at ITNation Share, because I see mergers all the time happening as a result of that. We're going to be talking about that today as well. There's a lot going on in mergers and acquisition. We've got a merger and acquisition pub crawl for you, okay? Why? Because this industry is maturing now. And it's amazing to watch the maturity of this industry. You know, I was one of the first dudes in the industry to get in, right? I'm like, it's weird. I'm the old man of the industry now. I remember when I first got into the industry, I was like 22, straight out of the MBA program, working for Price Waterhouse. No one was taking me seriously because I was just a kid. And now it's really exciting for me, and I knew how excited I was when I got into the field, and I knew what it would become, and it has become that and more. And I'm so excited to see so many young faces in the crowd here today, young people getting into the technology space. It's just one of the greatest places you could be involved. You know, I certainly have encouraged my children to get involved in the technology space. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be a great job for the future, but it's so interesting. It's so exciting. So getting together and sharing. And now our most recent investment this year was HTG. We acquired HTG. I like to say we merged with HTG. HTG is an amazing peer group, as you all know. Many of you are in HTG. This is where you really get to really go deep, to really create accountability with each other, right? And you don't have to worry about sharing everything about your business. You don't have to worry about that because nobody's going to be in your geographic area. They're geographically dispersed. And now you're down to like 10, 12 companies and owners. And that's basically your board of directors. You want to talk about power-packed opportunity for you. That is a great opportunity. Really encourage you to take a look at that. Why did we make that investment, by the way? We made that investment, I put it to you this way, I don't think any private equity firm would let us make that investment, is my guess, okay? Because it's not about a product, it's about services, right? And when we talk about ITNation, we think about it that way, okay? We think about the fact that you, in our way of looking at it, you're donating money to us, and we need to show you what we're doing with that money. And we spend a lot of money every year on these events. In fact, $14 million each year putting on these events because we think they're so important to you. And we don't see anyone else doing it, and certainly don't see them doing it at our level. We think we need to do more. We think we need to invest more. So we merged with HTG peer groups because that's a great service that we can bring to you. And that's now known as ITNation Evolve. So we're excited to put all of this together and to make you realize and to give you the commitment that this is all about focusing on you and all about focusing on your success. And what we're doing is we are taking ITNation and we are passing the torch to you. We are giving you ITNation. It's yours. You tell us what you want it to be. You told us you wanted it to be completely open. We made it completely open. You told us we want it to grow. We're making it grow. You've told us what you want in the breakout sessions, and we do that. You've even told us we've been to Universal twice. Can we go somewhere else? And we said, yes, SeaWorld. Okay. And by the way, we have not just a part of SeaWorld. We have all of SeaWorld. Okay. And we have a great band, Walk the Moon. I did not pick the band, but I hear they're good. and we'll have a whole lot of fun tonight, all right? And we're going to be giving out these torches to you, and I would love to see you passing these torches around symbolically, that we're all united together, that we're all lighting the way for each other, that we're all taking care of each other, that we're all enlightening each other and sharing with each other, okay? I want all of us to be passing the torch to each other. That's what this is about. Okay, so if we're a nation, then we have to have some beliefs, right? What are the beliefs of a nation? Well, we believe at ITNation, at this nation, this virtual nation, all of us, right? I think we can agree that we believe that technology is creating a better future. That certainly is the vision of ConnectWise. We truly believe that technology is creating a better future. In fact, we really need to hope that technology will create a better future. In fact, we need to make sure that we are advancing technology so that it can get to a better future for us. And what does that mean? That means, look, when the dust settles on this earth, we're going to have 11 billion people. We're only at 7.5 right now. The good news is it doesn't keep going, right? If you look at sort of the geometric trend, it levels off at about 11 billion. So if you kind of go with that and say, all right, we're going to have 11 billion people on earth. What? How are we going to feed them all? Technology is going to have to come to the rescue. How are we going to heal them all? How are we going to keep them healthy? Technology is going to have to come to the rescue in healthcare, and it is in many ways. How are we going to educate 11 billion people and give them an opportunity to advance and succeed in this world? Technology is going to have to come to the rescue. And if you think about it, technology is coming to the rescue in all of those areas. And so even though you might think to yourself, well, I take care of my, 200 clients and, I just make sure the computers are up and running and they're connected to the internet and that their line of business applications run and when you start thinking about what you do, you may not think that you're actually creating a better future, but you are, because it's a huge construction project. So you can't look at the piece that you do, right? You've got to look at it, you've got to zoom out and go, wow, we're all on this amazingly huge construction project where we are building a better future. And I know that you believe that because that's why you're here. That's why you're in business. That's why you do what you do. Because I know, because I am you, right? We still have a $4 million a year local company in Tampa Bay taking care of about 200 clients. And hey, I am you. And I know why I got into the space. I got into the space because I was so geeked out about technology. I thought it was going to do amazing things, and it has. And it never ceases to amaze me what it can do. So it is creating a better future. You are creating a better future, slowly and surely, in this huge construction project. What else do we believe? We believe that technology is always evolving. It is always evolving. It never stays still. I love that. You love that. You know what that means? That means opportunity for all of us. Every time you think you got it, and also frustration, every time you think you got it figured out, it changes on you. It's like, I just got it down pat where I could really do a great job with the infrastructure under the roof of the client, and now they've moved it all to the cloud. It's like, yep. That's how it works in this business. That's what's so cool about it. It's never one and done. If you think that the services that you put in place when you first started your business are going to be the services that are going to keep you in business, you are wrong. Let me just say that completely wrong, right? But you know that it's changing, and you know you've got to change your services. You know you've got to add new services, okay? You can't just stand still where you are. You've got to create competitive differentiation for yourself. The fact that technology is always evolving allows you to do that. And we believe this. We believe that all of technology will be delivered as a service. Every bit of it. Not some of it, all of it. Now, yeah, it's going to take project work to get it in place, but once it's in place, it's going to be managed as a service, every bit of it. Think about it. The most advanced technological services that are available today are being pumped out by companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook. These are services that we're connecting to, right? These are solutions that we're connecting to out there. They're all managed for us, or we're using them and managing them for our clients. But technology is moving so fast, and everybody has to absorb it, and every business, every industry, every economy has to absorb it as fast as it can. Simply is not possible. Technology is moving way faster than we could ever hope to embed it, get it adopted, and have it seep into the businesses that we serve. There's no way. So guess what? It will always be delivered as a service, right? How many of you that are, say, 50 people or less in your company have a lawyer working for you? How many folks actually have a lawyer working for you? No one likes lawyers. Oh, a couple, okay. Why don't you have a lawyer working for you, right? You don't have a lawyer working for you because you outsource that. That's an expertise that you don't know, that you don't want to know, and that you'd rather pay someone that went to law school and knows what they're doing and can keep you safe in that area. And those are just paper documents that people sign. It's not the computer system that they use to put every bit of their intellectual property on it, all of their vital information, okay? You think about it, it's like what you do is like way more difficult and absolutely will be outsourced. In fact, even the largest enterprise companies are realizing that they can't do it all themselves. There's a huge opportunity as large organizations, large enterprises outsource more and more and more of what they do. No one can keep up. This is a great, great place to be. It'll all be managed as a service. And so, think about it. If it's all being managed as a service, and if technology is creating a better future, well, then aren't you actually technology? Aren't you? It's you that's delivering it. It's you that's embedding it. It's you that's managing it. It's you that's servicing it. It's you that's creating it and providing it. And without you, yeah, maybe somebody else could do it, but it's you that is delivering the technology. So you really are technology. And so that's why we at ConnectWise are so dedicated to you, because you are creating a better future. Each and every one of you is creating a better future in your own way, in this massive construction project. And so there's no nobler cause than to try to make the world a better place. There's no better way to do it than with technology. So, what are we going to be talking about today? The idea today is to launch the new ITNation, to pass the torch to you. We're going to be talking about the whole world as a service, everything as a service, okay? What do you need to do to run your business great and to really start thinking about that business model? Because it's a business model. And it's a business model that's very different from break fix. It's very different from project work. It's very different from reselling and doing project work. It's a whole different business model. It requires a different way of looking at the business. So many of you have told me, it's like, Arnie, you know, if I had known how hard it was to switch my business model, I would have just started a second business to start with and just built that. Because the two business models are so diametrically opposed. It's hard to do it inside the same company, but we're going to show you how to do that. We're also going to be talking about business maturity. We're going to have Arlin Sorensen come up here, the founder of HTG, now ConnectWise Evolve, and he's going to talk with you about maturing your business. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about security, because I think that's the next big future spot for you to make money. It's also the next big spot that you better be protecting yourself. You better make sure your own house is in order. We'll talk about that too. And by the way, ConnectWise, we need to make sure that our house is in order. We're going to be talking to you about what we've done to put our house in order and what our future plans are there as well. So Let's get started with as a service. Here it is. It's as simple as this. Whoop. Go backwards. This is the solutions menu. Look at this menu. Think of it like a sushi menu, right? It's like everything that you can provide, every technology that you can provide is somehow categorized on this solutions menu. So you can just sit and pick from it and say, what am I going to serve up, right? Copy, print. I'm going to do that. Cybersecurity, physical security, Internet of Things, right? Collaboration, disaster recovery. We sell these things, right? Line of business applications, office applications, network management and network infrastructure, on-site computing, cloud computing, application development. Think about these things. Business intelligence and the next big one, artificial intelligence. All of these, every one of these will be delivered as a service. Every single one of them. And so let's take a look at some of the trends. So here are some numbers. We spent a lot of money to get these numbers, so this is a good photo opportunity here. It's just a piece of paper. Why are you charging $50,000 for that one piece of paper? Well, because I don't have that knowledge, and now I do. 2016. Now we're just talking about managed services as it stands in 2016. Worldwide numbers were $83 billion industry, right? Now, by the way, you may be a VAR, right? You may say, well, I don't even do as a service. So what are you talking about, Arnie? Well, what I'm talking about is you're going to have to move part of your business to that business model, or we're going to help you do that, okay? So even if it's not your business model today, you need to be moving to it. So I'm not talking about your entire business. I'm talking about just the piece of your business that's managed services. If you add all of that business up worldwide, it represents $83 billion as of 2016. But check this out. Look at what's going on. Look at the growth. It's absolutely staggering. By 2021, $154 billion industry worldwide, and it's yours. Think about it. It's yours. It is completely yours for the taking. All you need to do is run your business the right way, right? Connect, share, grow, succeed together, right? Can't do it by yourself. It takes a nation, right? It takes a nation. $154 billion industry. That's amazing. And by the way, that represents a 13% cumulative annual growth rate. So it's growing probably faster than any of your companies are. So what does that mean? That means we're going to have trouble keeping up. All of us are going to have trouble delivering technology as a service because it's the desire and the need and the demand for that is growing, okay? So do your own supply and demand curves, and what does that mean? That means there's just not enough people to deliver this, right? So that means a lot more people will be jumping into this industry. That's what it means, okay? It means that you're going to have competition. It means you're going to need to sort of start to think about, where do I want to make my mark? Where's my niche? What's my specialization, okay? So what are the real reasons for this phenomenon? There are a couple basic reasons that this is happening, and this is from a Deloitte study. This was a really great study that I read from Deloitte, okay? Expertise, the need for expertise, scarcity of resources, scarcity of technical competency requires you to hire external expertise for this. There's not enough technology solution providers. There's not enough technology graduates, quite honestly. And so the demand is very high. So the only way you're going to get that is if you go out and outsource that. Cost efficiencies. It is less expensive to get the service from you than for them to create the service under their own roof. And think about that. It's like they can have their own IT department. It's actually not very efficient. And I know every single time in our local Tampa company, when I go talk to a CEO of a local business on that side of our company, right, when I'm actually, on the ConnectWise IT side, and I'm talking to a local business person, It's amazing, even if they have an internal IT staff, they don't know what they do. They don't know how to manage them, okay? So I think you can just know in your own mind that it's like, you know you can do a better job almost all the time, better than that internal IT department, right? That notion is starting to be understood by everyone, right? They're like, yeah, you know what? You know, just like a lawyer, it's like I don't have one under my own roof, right? Maybe I need to outsource that, right? Cost efficiencies. Operating expense versus capital expense, right? Just from a bean counter, CPA, accounting perspective, right? It's many times it's easier to get operating expense approved, which is what you would pay someone if they're delivering a service. It's going to be considered an operating expense, not a capital expense. Capital expenditures go through a lot more scrutiny. And by the way, you know, the days of us buying big, huge, you know, servers and networks and SANs, disk systems, those days are, you know, they're dwindling, right? Because everything's going to the cloud anyway. So everything's becoming an operating expense. Time and resource efficiency, it's just faster for them to do it. They don't want to build parts of their business. Your clients don't want to build parts of their business that are not essential to their business. You know, if I am a law firm, I'm all about how many cases can I get done and what are the fees that I can bring in every month. I don't need to worry about technology, and I'd rather not. And in fact, I believe I can have cost efficiencies if I outsource it to you. Technological innovation is another big one. They can't keep up. No one can keep up. So the only way is if they outsource it. So if they want to stay ahead, and they know the only way, by the way, to keep their business and stay ahead is if they implement the technological innovations that their competitors have implemented, okay? So they really have no choice. Agility, just so they can move faster. Continuous improvement, that's what they expect from you. You're the experts. They expect you to, if you're going to be the one that manages their network, or you're going to be the one that hardens their network against cyber crimes and cyber war, they're going to expect you to be continuously improving your service, continuously delivering that to you, and then cost efficiencies. So every one of those reasons, you know, you have everything, I mean everything in your favor. We have everything in our favor here. Okay, so that's the beginning, if you will, of as a service. I want to ask, let's have Craig Fulton come on up and talk with us. Craig Fulton, our product manager, come on up and talk with us about as a service.
All right. Thanks, Arnie. Oh, yeah, here we are. Okay, so I wanted to talk about as a service because, you know, there's a change happening. This is the business model of the future. Well, actually, I mean, let's be honest, it's the business model that's happening now. And I know a lot of you are doing that, say, I'm doing managed services, I get it. But there's a shift that has happened, and I want to educate everybody on what that is. We interact with a lot of partners, and I hear what a lot of the best partners are doing. So let's talk about what this means. If you think about as a service and what it is, it's really a customer experience. Right? It's a change. It's really, you know, as a service is a subscription. The customer is paying for productivity and uptime. A little bit different than what we did 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, where they were just paying for a server and some workstations, and we supported those things. It's about supporting the customer. I see this quote all the time on LinkedIn, on social media. Everybody says it. It's a customer's world we are living in, and it is. As things go to subscription, they own the relationship. The sale doesn't end when they sign that quote. The sale begins then, right? Because then every month you have to sell them, every month. Subscription. I talked to a partner yesterday in the Solution Pavilion that said, we're taking this so serious, we don't even do annual contracts with our customers anymore. We know we're good at what we do. We tell them we'll earn your business every month, and they just bill them monthly. The customer can leave at any time. This is becoming the way that you got to do it. That's as a service. So let's talk about how we got here real quick, right? You spent the past 25 plus years connecting everything. You laid the infrastructure. You got the computing power out there. You focused on technology. I used to be a tech. I focused so much on technology, I would flat out just ignore the customer, right? How many times you get an alert, server's down, you'd show up, you'd run right past the customers to the server. Or you'd get a ticket in, what would the first thing you do? You remote into the server. How many people are guilty of doing that? You don't call the customer. I don't want to talk to them. I want to talk to the server. It's fun. That's not going to work. That is not going to work, right? You got to get focused on the customer. So now we have to run to the customer. What's going on? How can I help you? Understand what their challenges are. Again, because they're paying for productivity and uptime. The technology, they don't get dazzled by the gigahertz and the terabytes and the gigabit speeds. That doesn't mean anything to them. And we used to be really good at talking that talk and dazzling them, and they would buy the technology. Now they want to buy an experience. All right, so when you look into how as a service works, we've spent a lot of time on the product team understanding what you're going through and your customers, and we know that when you land a new customer, the first 6 to 9 months is the most important time. This is when you've got to set that first impression. This is when you have to build loyalty. This is when you need to get them to adopt the service. This is the period where churn happens the most. And I'm going to get into what churn is. It's different than termination rate. And I know you're thinking, Craig, we know this. But I've seen what you do. You're not using systems at their efficient way to nurture them in that first 6 to 9 months to build loyalty. That's what the platform's here for. You can stop by our booth in a pavilion. The product team's there, the support team, the sales team. They're there to show you how ConnectWise can help you with this. Through technology, sending emails at the right time, workflows. You've really got to focus on that because a great book I once read said, if you're going to lose the customers during this period, and when they go, they're going to take 3 to 4 times the amount of value with them, gone, that you would have made. And not only that, they've gone somewhere else, and then they get happy there, and then they refer all their peers to that provider as well. So this is very important because also, right, I spent a lot of time talking to you. I've heard, man, I'll be lucky if I get 1 new customer a year. Some of you are doing a great job getting 3 or 4 a month. That's great. But it's becoming very competitive getting customers. And that's why when you go to as a service, you got to get focused on the customer. And I'll talk about the strategy as we move on. Now, a whole new set of metrics to look at. When you're doing subscription type things as a service, you got to focus on churn, retention, customer acquisition cost, and lifetime total value, CAC and LTV. How many people have heard those terms, CAC and LTV? Not many. Okay, this is something that we get real familiar with in a SaaS world, but you are dealing with the same thing because you're doing as a service, and you have to move everything, right? Yesterday, I talked to a partner that does heavy copy print. They have 10% of their businesses, managed services. They want to convert their copy print to as a service. So these are the metrics they're going to want to look at. So what does churn mean? Well, when you look at churn, you're saying over a given period of time, how many customers come and how many leave. It's pretty obvious. But I hear a lot of you say, oh, no, I know my termination rate. My termination rate for this year is positive, or my termination rate, I only lost 2%. But when you look at churn on like a monthly basis, if you're doing that much volume, you're looking at churn of customers, looking at churn of the services you provide to them, it could tell a different story, right? You could sell 5 things and have 3 get canceled, and your churn rate's pretty bad then, right? It's like 60-some%. I should have done an equation that was easy. You sell 4, you lose 2, you're 50%. That's churn. And we have to start looking at this. You have to start looking at churn. And then there's retention. This is the flip side of it. And when we get into other formulas, you'll know, I don't want you to just look at numbers just to look at numbers. I want you to know what you got to do with them. So retention is the flip side. How many are you keeping? You should watch this so you can do activities to ensure your retention is high because customers are getting expensive. I've heard that private equity is pumping a lot of money in this industry into some MSPs that are in here, and you're able to cut your costs drastically to get customers. And those of you that aren't doing those, that don't have that kind of funding, retention is really important. You got to do activities to keep them. And when you look at retention, there's activities such as high-touch activities where you go on site. You go to dinner with them, you go to lunch, right? You're building this loyalty and friendship. There's low-touch activities like phone calls, there's tech touch, analyzing the services you've delivered and then reaching out to them and ensuring that they're happy with it so you can retain them. So that's another metric to look at. Now, customer acquisition costs. This one's pretty simple, but I don't know too many that are actually looking at this. How many people can tell me how much it costs them to acquire a customer? I said one hand, two, three, right? Not the whole room. You should know this because you'll understand how much it costs. You're like, whoa, we got to make sure we don't lose them because the 3 to 4 times the value I mentioned, right? So when you look at customer acquisition costs, here's what goes into that. All the sales and marketing efforts you do over a period of time, plus onboarding costs. Because I know you do projects to get customers in and you bill for some of it, but not everything you're billing for. Right? The setting up, the doing the documentation, getting them on board with your support. So you got to take all those costs over a period of time and then divide it by how many customers you won. So I'll do an example here. Let's say we look at a quarter and we know we spent $20,000 over that between sales, marketing, and onboarding. We brought 4 customers on. Easy math. Cost $5,000 to bring on a customer. That's actually pretty low. I bet if some of you got in there and looked, you'd realize, geez, we spend maybe $20,000. Right? I use this example because there's a lot of people in the room, you don't really do much in marketing other than maybe a local event or some referral, but some of the partners that are doing really well and having explosive growth here are getting into digital marketing to get leads or getting into email campaigns and honing in on that because we've got to get as many customers as we can in this subscription world. And then lifetime value. This is important to understand so that you can predict revenue. So, lifetime value, we take the gross margin average. This is a good one, 40%. Your monthly churn, we know how to calculate that. I'm going to say, okay, we lost, 2% over this period of time in a month, and our average MRR is $5,000. Our lifetime value is $100,000 per client. Now, those of you that have finance degrees, you're saying, Craig, you're forgetting to calculate the discount rate, time value money. I'm trying to simplify this. But you can do that, right? Apply a 5% discount because over time. Now, what good are metrics to look at if you can't benchmark yourself on someone? So a real simple thing to do is to do the ratio. What's our ratio of CAC to LTV? In this case, it's 1 to 5. That's really good. 1 to 3 is still pretty good. Anything lower than that is not good. And you should look at what am I doing to retain customers? Right? What am I doing to lower costs to acquire? Anything above 1.1 to 5, you are doing amazing. Okay, so these are new metrics that you should look at as you go into as a service. And I know I went through some math there. We have a webinar series. We're going to start on January 10th for this. You could go to this website and sign up. We're going to give you the formulas, but we're going to teach you the best practices of how to set up the platform so that you can get this data out of there, and then we're going to show you how to get the data, and then we're going to show you things you can do to get better. I get it. There's a lot of people in the room saying, dude, I've been doing managed services for 15 years. I know this. But I'm telling you, we'll help you find something because, look, what does this all mean? I want you to make more money. I know you're saying, hey, show me something that's going to help me make more money. That's what this is. Now, what's the impact on your business? Right, so you have to adopt a culture of customer first, customer needs, but look at this impact that happens operationally on your business. And you see this happening. You know what this feels like. In the past, you'd go to a distributor, you'd go to a vendor, a solution partner, you'd buy a server, you'd buy some software, you'd pay one bill, that's it, one bill. You'd deliver it to the customer and you'd invoice them once, one time, that's it. Those are easy. Very low transaction business. But now, in as a service, we know this is high transaction. Now you're going to the distributor and the vendor, partner, solution partner. You have to pay monthly. So now you're kind of like this landlord of technology. I'm in the middle. I got to pay for this. Now I got to bill monthly. Very high transaction now going on, and the platform's here to help you with this because we see up to 40% change happening in this world. It's a mentality change, right? The customer hasn't invested tens of thousands of dollars in infrastructure because things are going in the cloud. They feel like they can change it easier. because they're used to subscription. They have cell phones. They know, hey, I'm going to turn this service on when I go on vacation. I'm going to turn it off when I get back. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There's a subscription mentality that the customer has that you have to adapt to. And there's going to be a lot of change, and you're going to need systems to manage all of this. This is what ConnectWise does with manage, automate, sell, control, unite. We're going to help you deliver every technology as a service. Okay, I'm going to hit you with some big numbers to get you really excited about your business. Now, I want to take all this, and let's just show the impact this has. So I'm going to take a $10 million company as an example. And they're selling some product. Now, working with service leadership, we know that when you sell product, your revenue valuation of your company is going to be 0.12. So every $1 of product you sell, your company is worth 12 cents valuation. You're going to deliver time, projects, labor, right? That's worth 0.6. So every $1 labor you sell, it's worth 60 cents. Valuation, revenue valuation. And then the recurring revenue stuff. Now, service leadership says 1.3, the value. We've seen up to 3, right? I watch channel E to E. I see these MSP mergers and acquisitions happening every day. We see what the value is. Now, that's a big multiplier. Let's take a look at what that looks like, right? I'm going to take a company that's doing a lot of product, probably doing some systems integration, time and materials work, and some recurring revenue, probably backup. What's that look like? Well, that company is a revenue valuation of $5 million. Now, I know you're like, hey, what about EBITDA? Yeah, you got to do the EBITDA valuation, and then you average it out. But I'm trying to keep this simple. Now, let's take the same company. Let's say, hey, they're doing more as a service, right? They're doing some product, right? You got to buy product. You still have to buy cloud services and solutions. And there's still on-premise stuff. But you have to install it too. There's a time and materials. What does this company look like? Well, this company is worth $16.5 million revenue valuation. This is why as a service is a business model of now. This is why as a service is going to get you money. Big money. There's a lot of people transitioning out. Arlin's going to talk about that. And you want to know, how can I get value in my business this way? And the platform is there to help you with all of that. All right, so look at that. Look at the difference. Same $10 million business, the difference in values, right? 3x. Okay, I'll sum up as a service with this. Here's a very simple methodology you follow as you do as a service. And you want to look at your managed services you're already doing and see, am I perfected this? Very easy. Adoption, satisfaction, upsell, and retention. Now, adoption, I think the first time I really ever talked about that was last year on this stage. What does adoption mean, right? You go out, you set up a system at the client. We used to just do systems integration. You go out, you put, okay, here's your email. How many people then checked and made sure they were actually using it? That's what adoption is, very simply. You're selling a solution. Now you're checking to make sure they've actually adopted it and are doing something with it. This is where you're going to differentiate yourself from everybody else because, look, technology is commoditized. All of it is getting there. The customer understands what technology can do. They want to know, how are you going to do something different? You're going to ensure they're adopting those services. And you can't go to a new prospect and hit them with everything. Here's my greatest security. Here's my greatest backup, my greatest managed services. How can they adopt all of that at once? They can't. So you want to hit their immediate pain, get them to adopt that, and get them very satisfied with you. You're going to have to do these high-touch activities, on-site visits, right? Look at the way you onboard your customers. Seriously, look at the way you're onboarding them and find ways to improve that to ensure you're driving satisfaction. Because once you drive that and you get the loyalty, they will start buying more from you. Now you can bring your advanced security solution. Now you can bring your advanced backup and all the other things that you're managing in that technology menu. Upsell them. Look, I told you about the private equity coming in and helping these MSPs. This is what they're doing. They're saying, let's cut costs. Let's get people to adopt these cheaper services. And then once we hook them, we're going to sell them the expensive ones. And retention. You got to focus on retention. You have to watch, what are they doing, right? You look at the systems they're using. When you start to see their usage drop off, you know you better do some retention activities. And you know your customers, whether it's lunch or on-site visit or training, something to ensure they're not going to leave. Because you're looking at your cost to acquire and you realize, I don't want to spend another $20,000 to get another customer back in here. And in that first 6 to 9 months, if they do leave, you probably are losing money because you will not have made up that $20,000 yet. Okay. Now, if you think I was going to come on stage and not show product, you're wrong. But sorry, I'm not doing it live this time, so all the jokes and all the did it work is not going to happen. So, new customer portal. We are building a new customer portal that's heavily branded. You can brand it, make it look however you want. Now, I want to tell a little story before I get into the portal. Here's what I've learned, right? I visited this partner in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, network doctor, and one thing I found fascinating was they're wildly successful with as a service, growing rapidly. And I'm trying to figure out what is it they do that's different than anybody else. And they're really focused on justifying their existence to the customer. And our advisory council has been talking about this too. So this is a thing that people got to start doing. Justify your existence. And David at Network Doctor says, here's how I justify my existence. I show them the network maps and all the documentation we do for them. We give them access to a dashboard that shows all the service we're doing with them and their uptime and everything they're getting. And then I also let them remote control their own machines from a portal if they want to. And I thought, man, that is really great. And then now when he sends the $10,000 bill to the customer, they can see, what is he doing for me? He's justifying his existence with that customer through this. So I want the portal to be your justifying your existence. We want the portal to be your way to deliver a customer experience, a way to find customer success. So we're giving you a highly branded portal. This is in pilot right now with a few select partners. It's coming out in January. If you stop by the booth, ask them about it. So a new portal is heavily branded. They could come in, work tickets, see their tickets there. They can do invoicing, pay invoicing. This is Connect Booster, a great partner in our ecosystem that we've been working with. I know a lot of partners use Connect Booster for automatic payments. They've helped us in this pilot, doing some great work there. We won't forget about PayPal. But a new portal. And then this portal is flexible. All these pods have APIs. We're going to allow everything to come in here. If you're working with WebRoot and you want to put a WebRoot dashboard in here to show the customer, here's what's going on with your security, you can do that. You want to put control in here so they can remote control their computers from anywhere, you could do that. This is going to be a highly flexible portal that you can fully customize and deliver your own unique customer experience. Oh, one thing on that portal, I know what you're thinking. How is my customer ever going to remember the password to that? I've been there. It'll have single sign-on if you want to connect it to their Active Directory so they can just click and they go in. Okay, we're putting that in there too. What else have we done? We have single sign-on. The whole platform has single sign-on for you. This is rolling out right now. Right? We've created our own identity provider on our platform where you can come in, configure an identity, and then associate it to the multiple products in the platform. And we're going to bring the ecosystem in there, so you only have to log into one thing to get to all the tools to support your customer. And it has multi-factor authentication. And not too long from now, right? This is going out now, but our next iteration of this, early 2019, we'll hook it into Azure Active Directory and regular Active Directory so you can use that. So single sign-on. All right, you asked for it, we delivered in the portal. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what else? A new way of using the platform, a user-centric view of how you do your job, right? Traditionally, the platform is set up in a way that's very functional, the way you do your business, right? Sales, marketing, finance, all the things. Now, and then you had to find your way to do your job. Now we're going to present your job to you. So in Q1 of 2019, these dashboards are going to start rolling out. They're very interactive. If it's important to you to see your schedule and interact with your schedule and work on tickets, there'll be a new ticket screen here, but you can still go back to the classic view, right? Like Windows 95 when we had that. How many people, as soon as you got the new Windows, you're like, classic view, where'd it go? But this will be our new one on top of the existing one. So if you're like, I love that ticket, don't take that, you can still do it. So a new way of looking, very interactive. Oh, how many quotes? 91, click, you can interact with those 91 real easy, right? A new way of looking at your customers. Because we understand as a service, we're gonna build these metrics into here so you can look and see how much it costs to acquire this customer, what's their lifetime value, what's important. And single sign-on, you can get around to all the other apps in the application here too. Okay, this is gonna start rolling out. We are heavily in development of this right now. January, February time. And then the marketplace. You can't do as a service efficiently unless you have everything connected in one place, right? We're connecting the platform. We want to connect everything else in the ecosystem. So all the solutions you're providing to your customers, like Acronis, WebRoot, StorageCraft, InfraScale, and so on. We're going to put this right inside the platform where you do your job, where you provide as a service to your customers. You can click and buy these solutions very easily. And since it's in Manage, we'll automatically map it to the customer and we'll automatically sync it to the agreement so you can build them. Because I talked about, there's going to be high transactions going on here in the as a service world, and we want it to just be click, 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 done. Right? So very simple to use. Our new marketplace, excited that that's coming out. So, I've talked to you about the as-a-service model, what we're doing, what you need to do, get focused on your customer. I'd like to introduce and bring out Arlin Sorensen so he can tell you how you can mature your business and execute on these things. Thanks, thank you. There you go, thanks.
Well, good morning. Thanks for being here, and appreciate the opportunity to be with you this morning. We really are you. This is our 14th year of doing this event, and I missed the first one because I had a quad bypass that year, so I got a pass, but I've been here the last 12 years, and I was sitting out there, and I got to tell you, I like that a lot better than being up here. But we do have some important things to talk about today. Craig really set the groundwork for us to realize we have to grow and mature our businesses. I come from that farm in southwest Iowa. And from there, we built a handful of businesses, middle of a cornfield. Only customer I really had that was close was my brother who lived across the road. And he never wanted to pay his bills. So I'm telling you, if you build a business and you take care of the customer, they'll come. So I don't want to hear anybody in this room tell me you don't have opportunity to create a company and be successful. Customers will come to you. Back in 2003, I got involved with ConnectWise. Arnie Bellini himself came to the farm and did our implementation. A few years later, we implemented ConnectWise for HTG. And then in 2012, I did it again for HTS Ag. So 3 of the companies that I founded all ran on ConnectWise, and it helped us get to the next level. We worked closely with this company for over the last decade through HTG. And so when we started to think about our legacy and what we would do to move into the future, it only made sense to bring together the best operating platform for technology with what HTG was all about, which was creating transformational business services for companies to grow. So that happened in January of this year. We came together as ITNation Evolve, and we have got a new logo, we've got some new colors, but the thing I want to make sure everybody understands is we have exactly the same mission. ConnectWise has always been focused on partner success, and that's what HTG was all about. So it made it very simple for us to come together to deliver and continue the journey of helping you succeed. The folks that are driving the charge on this are a set of veterans. Pete Sorensen is leading the ITNation community. So all the things that Arnie talked about earlier in the day, these events, the user groups, the peer groups, all the community activities are now under Pete's responsibility. Craig mentioned the marketplace. Jeff Bishop is leading the charge around ecosystem. So all the solution providers, external consultants, all the pieces that make the ITNation work roll up to Jeff. I've been tasked with working on M&A, and I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit, because we know that M&A is one of the key ways that you're going to grow and develop your business. Kathy Smith continues to drive services and education and to lead a team that's vital for us helping you succeed. And then Brad Scow came over with us from HTG and is now in charge of the consulting side of the business. ConnectWise has always had implementation consulting, but with the HTG acquisition, we've brought business consulting into the fold as well. We've got a team of people that wake up every day thinking about how to help you be successful. But we've got to take action to make that a reality. And we talk about that as the entrepreneurial journey. There's 4 phases that we need to go through if we're going to take our company from start to finish. I want to walk through each of these 4 areas briefly and tell you what that journey looks like. It really begins with what we call muscle and feel. When most of us start a company, we don't necessarily have this great business plan and understanding of what we're doing. We start organizations because we see a need, we feel like we can fill it, and we just begin to do business. Along the way, we find a few other people that will come alongside, and pretty soon, we've got a company. Michael Gerber calls that the accidental entrepreneur. And I know a lot of you in the room are in that boat. I certainly was. The problem with muscle and feel is that over time, we run out of gas. The entrepreneur can only carry the company for so long. And so the data actually verifies that. Small Business Administration says that only 6% of companies in the US ever get beyond 10 employees. 94% don't grow beyond 10. I can tell you that most of those companies don't do that because they don't want to get bigger. They do it because they haven't overcome running a company on muscle and feel. To make that transition, we've got to make some changes, which takes us to the second phase in the process, which is we have to begin to manage to what good looks like. One of the reasons that doesn't happen is because people don't know what good looks like. They run their company in a bubble. We find that when they begin to get involved in peer groups, pretty much everybody that comes to the first meeting thinks they're doing really well with their organization. They've been running it for a while. They feel like they're doing good. Then they see the benchmarking data, and they say, oh, maybe I could do better. In fact, I know I could do better, and I can see exactly where that is. That's where peer groups can really make a difference. It helps you understand what good looks like. And I encourage you to take a look at getting involved more deeply in the ITNation Connect community and make peer groups part of taking your business to the next level. Planning is what we have to do, though, once we find out what good looks like. And Evolve has got a planning process around 4 different plans. Starts with legacy, so we know where it is we want to go, both in our business and in our life. It also leads you to create leadership plans for how you're going to become a better leader yourself and how you're going to invest in the people that will help you get there. It involves life planning. Hopefully, we're not spending all our time at work, so we actually have hours outside of the workplace that we need to think about. And then, of course, business plans. But those 4 plans are critical to taking what good looks like and actually executing it. This week, we are going to give away 500 copies of our planning guide called Planning for Success. We've already handed some out, but if you're interested in going deeper and looking at how you can take your business from muscle and feel to managing to what good looks like, stop by the ITNation lounge out in the lobby by the Solution Pavilion, ask for a copy of the workbook. We want to help you succeed. Another place you can get it is the open house we're having up in Bay Hill 17 and 18 over the lunch hour the next 2 days. Stop up there, talk to the team, you'll be able to get a copy of the workbook. Thomas Edison said it best, and this is the major problem we have with managing to what good looks like. Vision without execution is hallucination. Even when we know what we should do, often we don't do it. Most people that run their own business do it for one reason. They want to be their own boss. And I can tell you that's why I ran a business. The problem with being your own boss is you do what you want to do, not what you need to do. And that's where peer groups can help provide some accountability. So I encourage you, move through muscle and feel. Begin to understand what good looks like, and then make the commitment to manage to it. But then we have to go to the third phase of the journey, which is we've got to build teams and create strategy. We need to look beyond the short term and understand where we really want to go. We've got to listen to what Stephen Covey said, where we have to begin with the end in mind. What is it we're trying to accomplish? And then we have to create a way for us to encapsulate that, communicate it, and build a team to help us execute. At ConnectWise, we've chosen a product called StratOp, which is a strategic planning tool. We use it internally all over the company. It allows us to really define the future and then create a roadmap to get there. And I encourage you to find a tool that you can use to help define that so you can align your people. When I go around the world and consult, the number one problem is people don't know where they're going. Not just the leadership, but often the teams themselves. But inside of that, the challenge is often alignment of people. Leaders aren't on the same page. They might know where their destination is, but they're not on the same page about how to get there. Tools like StratOp help you get everybody marching down the same path together, and it will let you move to the next level. Part of what we want to do for the ITNation is to help you continue that path. And we know that those of you that are running VAR businesses, it's a little bit different proposition than the traditional ITNation Evolve peer groups that we've had. So beginning in Q1 of 2019, we're going to roll out some specific groups to target helping VARs take this journey. I'd encourage you to stop by the lounge and talk to Jody about what that looks like. We want to help you succeed, and we know that VARs really have to make a transition that's very, very difficult. Our commitment to you is we want to be the best platform in the industry to support your M&A activity. The data around M&A is staggering. You all know it's been a hot deal, but it's just really getting started. Our friends at Service Leadership did some research. 70% of the folks they surveyed plan to do an M&A acquisition in the next 5 years. So if you look around, 2 out of the 3 people sitting around you are planning to acquire. It doesn't get much hotter than that. We want ConnectWise to be the platform that enables you to do that. We're serious about supporting you in M&A. So there's a few things I want you to be aware of that are going on starting today. Tonight at 5 o'clock, we're hosting our first ever M&A deal crawl, where we're bringing together companies that want to buy with those that want to sell. It's just an opportunity to get together, to network, to meet some people. We've had a huge response, but we have a few openings for companies that might potentially want to sell their business. So if you're in that situation, if you're thinking, you know, I should probably do a little research here and see if I really do want to sell my company, Stop up here to the right of the stage after the keynote ends this morning and talk to Scott Scroggin. He'll get you registered. He'll help you understand the process. We'd love to have you participate later this afternoon. Across the next 2 days, we have 7 different breakout sessions on M&A, a full track that runs through the entire event. Over 20 of your peers are going to be helping deliver the content, people that have been there and done that. If you're thinking about either acquiring or selling your company, I'd encourage you to go to those sessions and learn. Success happens when you know what you're doing. You don't do M&A often, so this is a great place to learn about it. The other thing that we're going to be doing in Q1 is actually beginning some M&A-focused peer groups, where we're going to put together buy and sell side groups, and we're going to get into the details of how to maximize both of those experiences. So if you're interested in that, please stop by the ITNation Lounge and find out the details about getting involved with M&A. But we also realize that doing the deal is the easy part. It's the integration that's really the challenge. And it's really a challenge when you're trying to integrate companies that are running on a competitive platform, because you have to train all the people. So we want to make a financial commitment to those of you that want to grow through acquisition. If you acquire a company that's on a competitive platform, either a PSA, RMM, or quoting tool, we will defer your billing for 3 months on that acquired company. But if you acquire a company that's got 2 competing tools, we're going to give you 6 months free. We want to help you overcome the challenge of getting integration up and going by deferring the billing while you make those transitions. We're serious about helping you grow. I've blown through the discussion about the entrepreneurial journey. So we're going to start a webinar series in December. Starts December 14th. Brad Scow and I will be leading a number of webinars talking in much more detail about the importance, but more importantly, the methodology of how you can grow your company and prepare yourself for the final phase, which is leading toward legacy. There's very few things I know for sure, but one I do know is that everybody in this room is going to exit your company at some point. It doesn't go with you. And it's important to know what that legacy that you want to leave looks like, and then that you begin to plan and prepare so that you can execute it. It's expensive to have the right tools. We get that. So we asked Forrester to do a little research on the impact of the ConnectWise platform on the companies that really use it well. If you haven't taken the time to look at this survey, this research result, please do. It's available on the web. But it really does talk about the areas that make an impact and the ROI that you should expect from the PSA platform that you're running and the RMM tools that you use. ConnectWise can make a difference in maturing your business. That's the mission that we're on. So as I wind down, I want to reemphasize the why of what we do. We've done a lot of work gathering best practices and understanding what really makes for a profitable business. And we've used that to create the software platform that you can get today. On top of that, though, Arnie, we've had to put together all the supporting mechanism, right?
Right.
Support, education, consulting.
Community.
And then community, where we can learn from each other and really take ourselves to the ultimate thing that we're really working on, which is partner success.
It's all about, it's Maslow's hierarchy as redefined for you. If we do all these things right, we drive you to the top. We drive you to the top of the pyramid. We drive you to success. So,
absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much, Arlin.
You betcha.
So, it is all about your success. And we are totally tied to each other. If you don't succeed, we don't succeed. And if we do succeed, we make sure you succeed. So it's a very symbiotic relationship. And I like it that way because it creates this bond of trust between us. So we're going to do something that nobody does. Go figure, ConnectWise is going to do something nobody does. Okay? We're going to share with you our success and what we're doing with our success and how we're turning that back into your success. So, here's ConnectWise. Craig talked to you about as a service. He talked to you about cumulative annual growth rates. He talked to you about cost to acquire customers. He talked to you about churn. He talked to you about retention. Here's all of our basic stats, okay? We have been at this for 36 years, okay? Our mission has always been the same. It's always been to focus on you. It's always been to advance the cause of technology to create a better world, to create a better future, right? For the next generations, for the world once we're not here. We've been doing this for 36 years. And we've taken a lot of guidance along the way. We have a great board of directors. Steve Raymond, the founder of Tech Data and former CEO, is on our board of directors. Really amazing guy. But when you have people like that are creating accountability on you, it makes you better, right? Stan Levy is on our board of directors. Kent McNall. What I'm really proud about as well, though, is the fact that we have an advisory council. And you can see all of those folks in the advisory council here. In fact, the folks in the advisory council are here. We've had great meetings with them this week. And these are your ambassadors, right? If this is a nation, right? If this is a nation, then that's your Senate right there, okay? They're your representatives, if you will. They influence us to spend money in ways that are good for you and help us to figure out where we can put these funds. So last year I got up here and I talked about our innovation fund, and we said it was going to be a $10 million fund. We've actually deployed $27.5 million of that fund already. You saw the Pitch IT. Michael Frazier won that. Congratulations, Michael. We've been doing these Pitch ITs throughout the year. The idea is to really encourage and bolster innovation. And I think it's doing its job. We've made acquisitions this year and made investments in other companies like HTG. Like you may have heard about our investment in a company called Perch, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. We've made investments in Sienna Group. And we closed on a deal just the other day to bring in an amazing development team from India called Hash Include. And so we're doing all of these things to provide a better future for you. And we're very excited to announce also that we're raising now a $60 million fund. We feel like we've done good things with this money. We've made great investments for the nation, for things that will make your future better. And so now we're going to raise more money, and we're going to invest $60 million in this next year. I think the other thing that you should know is that ConnectWise is loading up for acquisitions as well. So we're very interested in talking to solution partners that integrate to our platform, that are interested in joining up with us, because we want to connect everything. So we're very, very, very optimistic about the future, very excited about the future. And we just think it's important for us, if we're going to have this relationship, that we share our information with you. We reinvest everything. I think the big joke in our family is every year we get the tax return. We're a subchapter S corporation, so that just flows through to me. I show Lauren, my lovely wife here of 30 years, the tax return. She goes, "Where's the money?" I see we paid a lot of taxes. Where's the money? I'm like, "Well, sweetheart, it's in ConnectWise. It's all there. We're reinvesting everything, right? We leave the money in there." So we do that because we always are trying to reinvest in you. Okay, we talked earlier about great opportunity in the managed technology opportunity, right? This is where you can really succeed. This traditional managed service space is growing at about 12% cumulative annual growth rate. I wanted to point out managed security, though. Look at it. It's growing at 17% cumulative annual growth rate. That's the fastest growing part of our marketplace right now. It's the place that I am encouraging you to diversify and to take your skill set beyond where it is today and start getting into cybersecurity, all right? Why? Well, for all the reasons we talked about earlier. But one thing that's really got me committed to this is I actually went and checked out the dark web a couple weeks ago. I'd never been on that. How many folks have been on the dark web? Raise your hand. Dark web. What the heck were you doing out there? I was amazed because I thought, oh, it's just a bunch of hackers. It's just going to be a bunch of, silliness out there. It's not. It's way more like Ocean's 11, okay? Organized crime, all right? They specialize. It was like scary. They specialize, okay? Just like in Ocean's 11, you had the wheelman, right? You had the explosives expert, you had the safe cracker, right? They had an expert in every area, and they all relied on each other and then interacted with each other to pull off this amazing heist in Ocean's 11, right? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing out on the dark web, okay? There's people that go steal personal information. There's people that then sell that. And then there's folks that take that information, almost like, hey, can I buy a marketing distribution list from you? It's like, that's the same thing. It's like, hey, can I buy some personal information? And they bid on it, and they sell it to each other. And then usually it's someone that actually steals it, and there's usually someone else who actually then uses that information. So it's sort of like, it's very, very specialized. So it's really pretty scary. If you look at the world economy today, it's $87 trillion. But if you look at what's happening with cybercrime, it's $6 trillion annually, okay? It's taken a huge chunk out of the world economy. In fact, that's 7% of the world economy. That's pretty scary when you think about it. And it gets worse. If you're looking at small to mid-sized businesses, 48% of the people in the world work for small to mid-sized businesses, okay? 49% of those small to mid-sized businesses have been hacked, and that just means they've got some malware or virus in there. They've been hacked in some way, maybe not had a breach yet. And once they've been hacked, 60% of those companies go out of business within 6 months. So those are your clients that are going to be going out of business because of it. The average cost of cybercrime of a breach is $7.35 million. So this is big business. This is organized crime. The total value of cybercrime is greater than all of drug trafficking. That's pretty scary, all right? And most people don't even know what's going on because it's in this dark other world. So I think it gets a little bit worse when you think about the fact that there's this huge talent gap in cybersecurity right now. In 2014, there were a million jobs that were unfilled in cybersecurity. There's just not enough people coming out to do this work. There's not enough people being trained to do it. There's not enough of you that know how to do it. 2019, 1.5 million. In 2025, they estimate 3 million person gap in this space. So what I can tell you is that the way that you're going to fight this is not going to be with more people. Automation is going to have to come into the picture. It's the only way. We don't have enough people. We're not going to have enough people. And by the way, it's kind of silly to fight it with people. I mean, my first job out of the MBA program was Price Waterhouse, and one of the very first projects they put me on was to go to North Carolina National Bank and do a security audit of them. So here I am, 22 years old, walking in with this big old long checklist, got it all done. They did not pass, but it was a human being talking to other human beings and seeing if they adhere to policies and procedures that they're supposed to, and it's just an interview, and they're saying yes and no. That just doesn't work, right? We're going to have to, and as I go back into the field now and I look deeply at what's going on in security, a lot of it is still being done the same way with human beings and checklists. It hasn't changed that much. Automation is starting to come to play, and I think that's what's really interesting. Why is this the perfect storm? Because we do have a perfect storm going here, okay? There's reasons that you should look to move into this marketplace, to expand your offerings, to start offering some of these cybersecurity services, right? Number one, you have a social responsibility to do so. There is a board called the Social Responsibility Board, and if you go check out their website, it will tell you that anyone who is touching data has an obligation, a social responsibility, in fact, to protect that information. You also have a massive amount of liability. If you're doing managed services, if you're taking care of their infrastructure, and if you are not hardening their environment in a way that they won't get hacked and they won't get breached, you have massive liability. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. You know, we are you. We have 200 clients in the Tampa Bay area. Guess what? One of them got hacked. And they came to us and they said, hey, Arnie, what's up? You put the firewall in, but they got through it. I'm like, yeah, well, we don't guarantee people aren't going to get through the firewall. They said, yeah, but they took 100 tax returns from us. This is a CPA firm, client of ours. They took 100 tax returns from us. So they have all of our clients' social security numbers. They can actually file that tax return and get the refund early. You know, what are you going to do about this? And you know what? I looked at them and I said, well, you know, you're not really paying me to do that. And I caught myself right there. I said, this is insane. I can't even say this out loud. They are paying me to do this. It's really my responsibility. I should have told them they needed to be safer. I should have told them that I needed to add some services because they got hacked and we're their managed service provider. So guess what? It's on us. Massive liability. Now, maybe it hasn't happened to you yet, but the day of reckoning is coming. It will happen. Legal reasons. People are suing over cybercrime. People are suing over negligence. You don't want to be sued for negligence, okay? And then, of course, regulatory. United States Congress just passed a bill where they pointed to the cybersecurity framework and said everybody, which is a standard that the National Institute of Standards and Technologies put out, right? It said everybody, this cybersecurity framework, everyone should be hardening their environment around this. It was a recommendation. It's not a law. It's not a regulation. But that's how it always happens. It's first a recommendation, and then it becomes, a regulation or a law. So all of these reasons say that we need to be paying attention to this. But here's the good part of it, right? Massive competitive advantage for you. There are few people that actually do this right. In fact, I would honestly tell you that there are probably only about maybe 50 of our partners who are even attempting to do this the right way, okay, in a field that's growing very fast. This is a way you can create differentiation for yourself as well. This is how you can, I talked about specialization. Guess what the easiest specialization for you is going to be? Get good at cyber defense, okay? So there's a huge opportunity there for you. So, in fact, it's a $25 billion opportunity just in 2019 alone. $25 billion, okay? That's as much as the world's economy, if you will, for managed servers. It's about the same number. So you think about that. Managed servers is like how much money do you make from managing servers, right? Add that up. That's how much additional money you can make right there with cyber security. So all of that is to say that you have to own security. You absolutely have to own this, okay? There's a framework that we're going to teach you, and I'm not going to leave you in a bad place on this. We're going to have a webinar series on security, ConnectWise.com/path to success. We're going to start this December 6th. I will be hosting it along with the CISO of Sienna, John Ford. This is where we're going to really get serious and teach you cybersecurity. We're going to teach you around the cybersecurity framework, which is what has been published out there. It's what everyone follows. It goes through these areas: protecting, detecting, responding, recovering, and identifying. We're going to teach you how to do that. It looks something like this. And if you look at every one of these columns, these are new services that you can provide. Every one of those line items is a new service that you can provide to your clients, okay? This is the commonly referred to as the NIST. You will hear NIST all the time, National Institute of Standards and Technology. This is the NIST Cybersecurity Framework version 1.1. It is being globally adopted. It is something that was created here in the United States, but because it was so forward-thinking and it includes all global standards and recommendations, so it's a global approach to cybersecurity. A lot of other countries have adopted this, including Italy and Uruguay, and several other countries have already adopted this as their standards. There's a standard in the UK that's very similar to this. So let's take a look at what the opportunity is for you. Okay, a typical managed service client, you're going to charge maybe $125 a seat for doing these services: infrastructure, cloud, SaaS application management, monitoring, help desk services, backup and disaster recovery, maybe quarterly business reviews, right? And then you're doing some basic security. We all do this, right? Email encryption, web content filtering, antivirus, firewall management, right? Well, that's what we were doing for our local CPA firm, and it wasn't enough, right? So, so, you know, we really needed to be doing more. If you think about like where you need to move, you have the liability for everything pretty much to the right of this equation here. In other words, you have the liability for keeping them secure, but you're not making the money. Let's take a look at the next column. This is what we call MSP 2.0. You can charge $175 a seat for this, because now you're adding a certain set of services, cybersecurity services that we're going to teach you how to provide in this webinar series. We're going to talk about this. These are additional services that you can have. Now, this is just example here. I'm not saying everybody should follow this, okay? But what I'm saying is this is the concept, right? And if you go even further and you add additional security, cybersecurity features, right, you can get up to $250 a seat now, all right? This is a world that you can conquer. This world is a world you can conquer. I'm encouraging you to jump into this. I have talked to several of our very largest partners, and I've asked them to self-assess themselves. How do you feel about your cybersecurity practice? How do you feel about that? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. You know what they've told me? 2, 3. If I asked you, if you self-assess yourself, where would you put yourself on security? Where would you rate yourself? I know almost all of you are going to tell me, Arnie, I'm either not doing it, or I'm a 2 or a 3 or a 4. Look, we're here to help. That's what we're here for. We want to take you from a 2 or a 3. We want to get you up to an 8 or a 9. We want to move you to the right side of these columns to $175 to $250 a seat. All right? We are making massive investments to do this. All right? It takes a nation to fight a cyber war. I can't do this on my own. You can't do it on your own. No one of us individually can do this. This is where the nation concept, where we unite together to fight a war. It's the only way to do it. We have to do this. And what does that mean? That means ConnectWise is reaching out to our solution partners and providing deep integration. Cisco is the very first one that we're really working with to deeply integrate to their security stack and bring it into the ConnectWise platform so you can see it as a single pane of glass. We're also working with Infrascale, Netalytics, Perch, Sienna Group, StorageCraft, WebRoot, and Acronis. And if you don't see your name up there, that's only because we haven't had a chance to reach out yet. This is just our initial pilot group. The whole idea here is to provide a better force field of security. In fact, our phase 2 is we're talking to all of these other companies and reaching out to them. These are all solution partners of ours. If you do not see a solution partner that you work with on this list, just tell them to send an email to marketplace@connectwise.com. Tell them, hey, we want you to be part of the cyber defense, the ITNation cyber defense team, okay, and unite with us. What we are going to do with this is we are going to create a security orchestration and automated response system. all right? That's a mouthful, right? Acronym is SOAR. What is it? It's what we have to do to fight cybercrime. We're fighting it with human beings. It's like ridiculous, right? We have the hackers are using artificial intelligence, machine learning. They're using everything digital, and they're throwing everything at us. In fact, if you think about it, it's like every single day, it's like there's hackers that are just pinging your firewall, trying to get through, lobbing emails into your employees, trying to get them to be silly enough to click and expose that soft inner side, right? We can harden as much as we want on the outside, right? It's like a Tootsie Pop, right? Hard candy shell outside, soft, gooey inside, right? Our people are the soft, gooey inside. When they lob emails in, they can get us to click on it, right? Now they've compromised you, right? So it's about all of that, right? So the idea here is that we are creating an open concept here to allow all security products to interact into the ConnectWise platform so that we can automatically respond and automatically take action, right? So here would be a great example. We noticed, and we've done this with Perch, so we made an investment in Perch, right? Perch notices, hey, we see that Susie's machine at 3 a.m. in the morning downloaded 2 gigabytes to some IP address in China. That doesn't seem right, right? Perch tells us. We then go flag that machine with Automate. We take it offline. And we make a ticket and manage and say, go take a look at this. That would be an example of like security orchestration and automated response. But we need to do that in spades with lots of other playbooks and lots of other concepts. So what we're doing is we're putting together this concept, and we're now promoting it to all of our solution partners. A lot of them, this first group, are excited about it. You might ask, it's like, well, that's great, Arnie. I mean, I hear what you're saying about security, but what about ConnectWise's security? So let me just real briefly talk about what we're doing there, because we have to harden ourselves. We all have to harden ourselves, okay? We do constant penetration testing at ConnectWise. We do application security testing and penetration testing on our applications. You know, Craig talked a little bit about what we're doing with the products, but this is what we're doing inside the company as well. We are SOC 1 compliant. We got SOC 1 certification. We're going to get our SOC 2 certification here in 2019 coming up. We're working hard on that. We're working very hard to train our people inside what we call the human firewall so that we can kind of harden that GUI center, right, to make sure that they're smart and that they're not actually clicking on things they shouldn't. And then we always look to implement as many advanced security controls as possible. So we're constantly thinking about this, and we've assessed our own risk. And we've seen where our gaps are. And this is just a process that never ends. You just keep trying to harden. And that's what we're asking you to do as well. So we're asking you to actually protect your own house. We're saying you should assess yourself. You should protect yourself. In fact, if you're not in the cybersecurity world right now, it's like, good, get into it, because we're going to make it really affordable for you to do it. And this is our Protect Your House campaign. If you can go sign up for this. This is just some of our original initial security vendors have put together some great offers for you. So let's just talk about them real quick. Sienna Group. You can visit them. They're right in a booth right there in the Solutions Pavilion, right behind the ConnectWise booth. Great company, local company in Tampa Bay. We've known them for many years. They're just awesome at what they do. They're cybersecurity experts, and we've been working with them to create this amazing risk assessment tool. And this risk assessment tool is designed to eliminate your liability. So what do I mean? Well, first of all, you should take this tool, and it's going to be free. We're giving it to you free for 3 months to try, to use on your clients, to use on yourself. And then if you come to the Path to Success webinar series, we're going to actually teach you how to do this, how to administer this risk assessment tool, all right? What's great about this is it actually scores you up against the cybersecurity framework. It gives you an actual score and tells you how you stand up against that, right? We have shown this to Aon and other large insurance companies. They're very excited about it because they want to They're talking about making their clients take this assessment test before they'll even issue cybersecurity insurance. So it's a pretty cool idea. What the beauty of this is it is a marketing campaign for you. If you decide you want to get into the cybersecurity world, this is your marketing campaign. You simply take the risk assessment with your client, and then we'll give you a report at the end. You talk to your client about their cybersecurity posture and their risk, and then you ask them, do you want me to remediate it? You got a 60%, you're flunking, okay? You're not at 100%. Are you okay with 60? If you're okay with 60, then just sign this document that says, I'm assuming the responsibility and the liability. And if not, then let me propose solutions that can harden you, right? So think of it as a marketing opportunity that Sienna is bringing to you. So it also includes a vulnerability scanner. And we just developed a vulnerability scanner that we're really excited about. It's better than others I've seen on the market. And the reason we're doing this is because we've realized that the price on all of these things is pretty high, and we need to make it so it's very affordable. And it needs to be completely integrated into the platform, into a single pane of glass. So this tool is integrated to Manage right now. It's right on your company, a tab right on your company. You can look at the risk assessment once you've taken it, right inside of Manage. Here's another great offer to help you protect your house, and this is from Perch. And this is Cyber Defense Platform. They are a cyber defense platform, community defense platform that's purpose-built for MSPs. This is the company that we invested in. The reason we invested in them is because we want to be on their development roadmap. We are influencing their development roadmap. We want them to be able to produce a solution that is affordable for you, that you can make money on, that also will help get you into the cybersecurity world. So what's amazing about this is it is a beautiful intrusion detection system. It has the capability of doing event logging. It's an extra feature that you can add on to it, so you actually will have modern SIM-like capability. It does threat intelligence. It's a threat intelligence platform, and it's a beautiful thing because it actually ingests threats from, say, Cisco Talos and other threat intel communities that share their information and ingest all of it. It's got a superset of all threat intelligence, and it actually compares everything that's going in and out of your network or your client's network to a signature profile that it identifies as either a threat or not. Every one of those things that is high risk is then reviewed by their SOC team and identified as to whether it's really a false positive or is really something you need to pay attention to. And once they flag it that way, it's going to turn a ticket. It's going to create a ticket for you in Manage. So in other words, you don't even have to be paying attention to this until a ticket shows up, okay? And they're offering this at their cost, which is $2 an IP, and they're going to offer this to you to help you protect yourself. So that's the Protect Your House program. I definitely would encourage you to go to the booth, visit with them, check it out, see if it's something that you're interested in. And then also sign up for the security webinar. This is the one that I talked about. It starts December 6th, connectwise.com/path-to-success. Okay, so we've talked about a lot today. What I'd like to do now is to just ask Arlin and Craig to come up on stage. Come on up. And grab your torch, gentlemen. Grab your torch.
Oh, boy.
Turn it on. Oh, switch hands.
Right hand. You said left hand in rehearsal, by the way.
Arlin said to just pay attention. So, we are passing the torch to you. This is your nation. We want you to tell us what you want it to be, and we are here listening, and we will invest deeply in you and your success. We like to say that we are you, and by passing this torch, now we are us.